Blue star. Just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon at noon, the world suddenly plunged into darkness. What's going on? Is there a total solar eclipse? I haven't heard that there is a total solar eclipse today. A certain company talked a lot. I don't care what he eats, work quickly, or else I have to work overtime again at night. Turn on the lights, turn on the lights. Yejun's hand just touched the switch, and in an instant, a powerful current hit. This plastic switch will leak. Why are you missing? In the last picture in Yejun's eyes, the people in the entire office became illusory, and finally all disappeared. It's over. It must be an illusion before death. The last point of Yejun's consciousness thought, if you die, you will die, and the province will work overtime every day. Ding! The player chooses the death mode, it is officially opened. Inexplicably, a mysterious voice came to mind. A splash of water hit the face. Yejun was so excited that he woke up instantly. What is this place? Yejun looked around blankly. There is water everywhere. No, this is a vast ocean. Because he licked the salty sea water on his face. How did I get into the sea? Yejun was at a loss, confused, and frightened. He had already seen his environment clearly at this time. Below himself is a small raft 2 to 3 meters wide and 4 to 5 meters long, which is floating on the endless sea at this time. What are you kidding? Raft sailing? What the is going on? Am I not at work? The global survival game is open, and the player is in death mode. A mechanical reminder sounded, and immediately, a virtual panel appeared in front of Yejun. Wrote, this is a game about the survival ability of the lower races in the universe. All the Blue Star people can choose the survival mode, supply food and water for 3 days, and start to survive. During the survival process, you can obtain upgrades and skills by completing tasks, killing monsters, etc., and become a powerful survivor, adapting to various dangerous environments in the universe. Yejun can be regarded as understand. A kind of nameless rule digitized the entire Blue Star, sending everyone into this game called survival. On the game panel, various game modes are clearly introduced: Island Mode, Wildness Mode, Rainforest Mode, Desert Mode, Ice Field Mode, Death Mode. Each mode can be divided into Single Mode and Team Mode. Team Mode is divided into 3-player mode and 5-player mode. Single-player mode is more dangerous, but the experience points and rewards gained from completing tasks are also more. Multiplayer mode can help each other, but food and water are limited. When hungry, companions are often more dangerous than wild beasts. Wait, isn't this game mode you can choose by yourself? Why did you send me to this death mode? Also, don't everyone have food and water for 3 days? Mine! Yejun shouted. The host automatically selected the death mode, and does not provide food and water. However, as long as you can survive in the death mode, you will get more benefits than other modes. I wish the player a happy life. Joy! I want to cry. Is it because I thought I was going to be electrocuted to death, the last sentence? Yejun regrets it in his heart. It's better to die than to live. I knew it a long time ago. What a comparison! If I choose a wilderness mode or a deserted island mode, I will definitely be able to show my talents after watching the animal world and the videos of Die and Be for so many years. It's okay now. In death mode, the small raft swims in the middle of the sea, and there is no food or water. It's really a dead end. Look at how other people play this game, maybe you can find a way to survive. Yejun opened the game channel, and countless pieces of information were scrolling on it. I suddenly appeared in the wilderness with only 3 breads and 3 bottles of water. What should I do after eating? The desert island mode I chose. How should I survive in the desert island mode? I have many years of outdoor experience, selling strategies for survival in the wild. A piece of bread, I want to buy as soon as possible. Fuck, you are too dark, you only need own at herd of the total of 3 breads. I have been watching Beiyi's videos for many years, and I am proficient in survival in the wild, selling strategies for survival in the wild, half a bread. Can anyone tell me what to do with the death mode? I have no food or water. I am on a tree with a lion under it. Can a lion climb a tree? Unexpectedly, there are people who have chosen death mode like Yejun. Brother, you are awesome, dare to choose the death mode, I respect you as a man. Brother, I think you can slip behind the lion with a slippery shovel while the lion is not paying attention. Hey brother, I'll give you a piece of bread. Throw it away and lead the lion away. Do lions eat bread? Funny. A message on the channel was swiped, but the player whose ID was number 103 in death mode never responded. Gradually, the ridiculous information on the channel disappeared. Everyone knew that if there were no accidents, this person would have been buried in a lion's belly. A heavy breath filled everyone's hearts. Even though they ridicule this player who chooses the death mode, how can they be better? There are only 3 days for food and water. In fact, with modern people's nourished bodies, 3 breads can't last for 3 days at all. What should I do after 3 days? Will they be like this brother and never be able to reply? I don't want to play anymore, I'm so scared. Someone cried on the channel. It would be nice to know that I chose the team mode, now I don't know anything. You reading www.ukancha.com can only wait to die after eating the food. Me too, I thought I could kill the quartet by watching some of B's videos. Now facing the deserted wilderness, there is only fear. An atmosphere of fear and sadness spread across the channel. Everyone really realized that this was different from all the games they had played before. This game will be deadly. Especially Yejun, feeling heavy in his heart. Yejun's ID is Death Mode 001. The person who spoke before was number 103 in Death Mode. That is to say, there were at least 100 people who chose Death Mode, and maybe even more. However, players who didn't speak Death Mode at all would die as soon as they entered the game. If nothing happens, Yejun's fate will not be any different from this player who also chooses the Death Mode. Without food and water, he couldn't last for 3 days. Moreover, even if someone is willing to give him food and water, he now only has a small raft, and he may be overturned by the wind and waves on the sea at any time. At this moment, a voice in his mind suddenly remembered, which made him both surprised and happy. Ding! Feel that the host is in a desperate situation and the system is awakened. Start fusion, the fusion progress is 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, 70%, 100%. The sign-in system is integrated, and the host can check in every day and get item rewards randomly. Do you want to sign in? System. Sure enough, how could a person like me die so easily? Yejun saw the hope of living, and said without hesitation, start to sign in. Ding! Congratulations to the host, successfully signed in. Get a lighter. Nima, what do you want you to? Yejun looked at the lighter in his hand with a very complicated expression. This kind of plastic lighter can usually be bought for $1. He didn't know how much he had lost before. However, in survival, a lighter is more useful than any resource. With a lighter, you can easily start a fire. The flame can not only drive away beasts, but you can also bake food to prevent sickness from eating raw food. It can be said that the flame is the starting point of human civilization. Knows how to use flames, which distinguishes humans and beasts into 2 races. If someone else gets a lighter, I don't know how happy it is. But Yejun was not happy at all. He only has a small raft now, why do you want to make fire? Difficulty, have you ordered the raft? It seems that I can only exchange some food and water with a lighter. Yejun thought to himself. Lighter is definitely a big killer for other survivors. After all, for most people, drilling for fire only exists in legends. With a lighter, you can easily solve life problems. I believe many people are willing to exchange it. Yejun began to figure out how to use this lighter in exchange for more benefits. The game announcement suddenly sounded a voice. The deserted island mode player had successfully built the first shelter in the game, won the title of Junior Builder, and received a reward. Tool Construction Hammer building attributes built with the construction hammer increased by 10%, builder level +1, endurance +10, strength +10. Suddenly, the entire world channel was a sensation. I heard it right, the name seems to be Da Yet. Master Da is really a great of survival, and he has built a shelter. However, I am more curious, what is the title of this architect? It seems that this game can really be upgraded. If you upgrade it quickly, you can get more chances of survival. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and build a shelter. I can't. Please reply, how do you build the shelter? Everyone is still talking about it, and smart people have begun to take action. No one thought that if you built a shelter, you would get rewards. Although I don't know what the title of builder is, but it can be upgraded and can increase physical attributes. This attraction is too great. Soon, another announcement appeared. Desert Island mode player Bell successfully hunted an alligator. Become the first player in the game to hunt a level 1 beast. The first kill reward, crocodile armor, and the title, Junior Hunter. Reward skill lone hit must kill, hunter level +1, endurance +10, speed +10, strength +50. Master Bay. Definitely Master Bay. Killed a crocodile so quickly. It's been a long time. A player yelled. I also saw a crocodile just now, and I ran away. Compared to Mr. Bay, I am just rubbish. You did it right, otherwise, it should be the crocodile replying to the message now. You can also get rewards for hunting beasts, and you can also explode equipment. Isn't this the upgrade of monsters? What are you afraid of? There is a nest of bird eggs on the tree in front of me, watch me go and get it. A pack of wolves in front of me. I thought for a while, man and nature should live together in peace. It is not good to fight and kill. Wolf, although you are right, I am still very hungry. Master Ai Teeb, what should I do if I meet a wolf? Waiting online, I'm very anxious. Unexpectedly, Bayet actually replied, wolves are a kind of good food. There is a lot of meat to replenish physical fitness. It is enough to eat for more than 10 days. The fur can keep out the cold. It is a perfect prey. Moreover, after hunting the prey, you can get experience points and get equipment. Myself. The strong, you should face the difficulties hidden. Good luck, brother. Sure enough, this is very beautiful. In comparison, Da Yet is more down to earth. In the wilderness, hunting beasts alone is extremely dangerous. Survival should first ensure your own safety. We now have 3 days of food and water. First of all, we should build a shelter, which can have a place to rest and resist the beasts. Then, think of a way to start a fire, find water and food, this will ensure survival, and then think about escalation. Probably after the shelter was built, there was nothing to do. Da Ye got the title of builder and was very happy. He began to teach some experience in building shelters on the channel. For most players, this can greatly increase the chance of survival. There are also many players, and they are stimulated by Master Da and Master. Upgrade is a great temptation. Let everyone see the hope of becoming stronger. The courageous began to hunt for the prey, and the courageous began to quickly build a shelter. For Yejun, whether it is hunting or building a shelter, it is a fantasy. However, Yejun also had an idea. Since the first player to build a shelter and the first to hunt a prey can get rewards. So, can the first person to make a fire get a reward? Yejun thinks that there is a great possibility. After all, life is also an extremely important point in survival. You can try it. Anyway, it doesn't make a loss. If it doesn't work, then take the lighter and exchange it for supplies. Only. Looking at the small raft, is it possible that I really want me to order the raft? Fortunately, Yu reading www.yuuganshu.com. Yejun finally figured out a way and peeled off a bunch of bark on the wooden raft. This raft should be made of pine wood, and the bark is also greased, which is an excellent combustible material. Yejun carefully ignited the bark on the edge of the raft to ensure that once the flame is too big, the fire can be extinguished with seawater at any time. In any case, you can't really burn the raft. The flame rose up, quickly igniting a small pile of bark, and the flame jumped more than a foot high. Yejun's heart jumped to his throat, and he was ready to pour the water to turn off the fire. However, the next moment, a game notification sound made him instantly ecstatic. Ding! Congratulations to the player! Become the first player in the game to successfully make fire. He won the title, Elementary Flame Controller. Reward, Fireball, Fire Energy Level +1, Flame Affinity +10, Strength +10. Do you want to announce? In this game, you can hide the name announcement or choose to make the name public. Yejun thought for a while, and chose to make it public. There is nothing to hide. On the contrary, the more famous he is, the easier it will be for him to exchange supplies. Game announcement, Yejun, a player in death mode, successfully ignited the first flame. Flame is the hope of survival. Reward title, Elementary Flame Master, Fire Energy Level +1, Skills, Fireball, Flame Affinity +10, Strength +10. The game announcement drifted by, and the entire channel was silent. Everyone looked at the game announcement in disbelief. Fire Mage, Fireball? Is there magic in this world? However, since the whole world has become a game, it is not impossible that there are hunters and mages among netizens. After a short silence, soon, the whole channel was a sensation. I'm even more curious, what is the title of the Flame Master? Is it a magician? It must be a magician. Didn't you see that there is Fireball? This game seems to be more than just a simple survival game. It can be upgraded, can control magic, and it is a bit fantasy. Hey, the boss of death mode, can you teach us how you lit the flame so quickly? Someone asked. Someone also said sourly, don't ask, the last brother who chose the death mode should have fed the lion. I guess, this one won't live long. This may be unusual, it caught fire so soon, it is definitely a survivor. He chose to light the fire so quickly, I guess he was mostly in a cold polar region. Players in death mode have nothing, they are on fire, and they can't find food, most of them have to hang up. I bet he won't survive tonight. On the World Channel, countless messages swiped the screen. However, smart people have already started to act and are starting to think of ways to start a fire. The flame controller, or the attractiveness of the magician, is much stronger than the hunter and the builder. Yejun ignored the envy and hatred of other players in the channel. At this time, he was attracted by the information on the panel. Player Yejun has been awarded the title, Junior Flame Master. Fire Energy Level, 1 Flame Affinity, 10 Skill, Fireball. Endurance, 70, Speed, 70, Strength 85. Yejun began to analyze his current situation carefully. The fire energy level requires 100 points to upgrade. My current flame affinity is 10, and I can absorb 10 fire energy every day. It takes 10 days to upgrade to the second level of fire energy. 70 stamina is not high. Yejun is an ordinary office worker, working in an office every day, but his stamina has not been strong. Speed 70, Yejun guessed that it means 7 meters per second, because his previous speed per 100 meters was 7 meters per second. The strength was originally 75, which represented 75 kilograms. Add the 10 points of the reward, so it is 80 kilograms. Yejun can indeed feel that his strength has become much stronger, and his muscles have a sense of tension. It's just that he was on the raft, unable to test his speed and strength, and didn't know that his inference was incorrect. As for fireball, Yejun felt a little agitated in his heart, snapped his fingers, and suddenly, in his palm, the fire energy gathered and began to heat up. A ball of flame came out. Only Yejun looked at the fireball the size of a thumb in his palm, his eyes twitched a little. This thing is fireball? It's almost like a lighter. Can this thing hurt people? Yejun breathed out, and the flame went out. Was speechless all at once. It seems that this level 1 fireball technique is used to ignite people. At least level 2 or even higher is required to produce lethality. However, with fireball, the lighter is useless and can be used for trading. Yejun immediately hung up a transaction message on the World Channel. I got a reward lighter, it's useless to me. I'll trade it now, and the one with the higher price will get it. If you start a fire earlier, you will not only have a better chance of survival, but also hope that you will be rewarded by the system. Maybe you will follow like me, I can become a magician. Trade goods, food, water, and all other supplies. If you want to buy, contact quickly, there will be no temple after this village. As soon as the news was sent, the whole World Channel was boiling. Lighter. So he has a lighter. This game is unfair. It may also be the first time he lit a fire-rewarded item. Anyway, I want this stuff, I will give out 3 breads and 3 bottles of water. It's too difficult to get a fire from wood, I've been single for 30 years. The tube can spark sparks, I have been drilling here for a long time but I didn't even see the smoke. Said a player named Yang Xiaoyang of Wilderness D9527. My buddy is ruthless, you traded food and water, aren't you afraid of starving to death? Hey, I found a creek here, there are a lot of fish in it, if you have a fire, you can eat grilled fish, who can eat bread? Envy. I am in the desert with only a cactus, and the thorns are longer than chickens. Don't blame the long thorns for short chickens. The nature of human beings is crooked buildings. If you don't crooked buildings, chatting is obviously meaningless. The boring people are in the crooked building, but the smart ones have already started to contact Yejun privately. In just 1 minute, Yejun has received countless offers on the game channel. Most of these quotations are 2 or 3 pieces of bread. Less than 5 pieces of bread, Yejun didn't even look at it. Yejun's clients are those 5-member teams. A 5-person team, with 15 days of supplies, absolutely abundant. Sure enough, Yejun quickly saw a few transaction requests. The highest bids were 10 pieces of bread and 15 bottles of water, and 12 pieces of bread, 10 bottles of water, and one with 15 pieces of bread, but only willing to give out 5 bottles of water. It should be in a place where water is scarce. Suddenly requesting to add a friend's information attracted Yejun's attention. Desert Island Mode player HD Yang Tianxing requested to add friends, remarks, we are willing to exchange 15 pieces of bread. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com has enough water and nuts. Please add friends to talk in detail. 15 pieces of bread are already all food for a team, as well as nuts. It seems that he is a rich native. Yejun thought about it a little, and passed the request. The friend was added successfully. Soon, a message came, hello, brother Yet. Where did your nuts come from? Yejun was a little skeptical. We are lucky and found a place where the squirrel hides food. The other party seemed to be afraid that Yejun would not believe it, and said, please rest assured, the transaction needs to pass the game review, and it is impossible to make fraud. Yejun said, I think about it. Waiting for the price, Yejun is not worried that his lighter will not be sold. Things are rare and expensive. Drilling wood to make fire is easy, but how many can be successful? As expected, the other party immediately replied, brother Yet, we can talk about any other needs. You can also add more food. It seems that the other party is very urgent. Yejun thought about it. Obviously, this is a big fat sheep. Moreover, very urgent. As long as Yejun gritted his teeth, he should be able to exchange more supplies. However, there are too few such big fat sheep, and I don't know how many nuts the other party has. After all, although a lighter is important, it can be replaced by drilling wood for fire. At the same time, the announcement of the game sounded again. Congratulations to Iceborne player Ellen for becoming the second player to ignite the flame. He won the title, Junior Flame Master. Rewards, Flame Affinity +5, Strength +10. Yejun suddenly smiled, and the assist came. Originally, Yejun was wondering if only players who complete a certain task for the first time can get rewards. It doesn't seem to be right now. This is a game, and there is no essential difference from the games he played in the past. The biggest difference is that this game is a live player game, and it really kills people. The first to complete the task and get the first kill, the reward is obviously more. This player named Ellen ignited the flame second, and did not upgrade, but gained flame affinity +5 and 10 strength. This shows that other players can also get rewards for completing tasks, but the lower the ranking players, the less rewards they will get. The news of Ellen's success obviously stimulated more players. For a time, many players began to increase their weight. And this player named Yang Tianxing said directly, 15 pieces of bread, unlimited drinking water, plus 10 caddies of nuts. If the brothers have other requirements, we will try our best to meet them. 10 caddies of nuts. Good fellow, this is a good harvest. Did the other party fall into the fruit forest? After thinking about it, Yejun felt that there was no need to put more weight on the food. No matter how much food, it's useless if it can't be preserved. Moreover, he is drifting at sea now, and the most important thing is safety. At the same time, on a desert island near the Arctic Circle, the 5 people also looked anxious and worried, staring at the chat channel. The call record on it was exactly the chat with Yejun. Brother Yang, I don't think so. It's a big deal to make fire. A thin, tall young man complained. Yes, Brother Yang, I gave too much, we only found 30 caddies of nuts in total. Another man complained. The other 2 are 2 young women. One of them is wearing camouflage uniforms and has short hair. At this time, they are silently drilling wood to make fire, but, obviously, this is not an easy task. Although I drilled for more than an hour, my hands were blistering, but there was no spark. Another young woman, 16 or 17 years old, with a pair of glasses and long hair like a waterfall, was casually with a piece of grass. The glasses girl analyzed seriously, if we are just assigned to an ordinary desert island, it doesn't matter if we don't catch fire for a while. But not now. Look, the sun has already set, which means that it's getting dark. Here's it's dark so early, I suspect that here is the edge of the polar region. The temperature will definitely drop sharply at night, even below 0. It is absolutely impossible without fire. We will all get frostbite and get sick. In this environment, sickness means death. The more important point is that you haven't heard the game announcement. As long as we light the fire, we can also get rewards and become magicians. Compared with this, what is a little food? Then I will reply to him now. Then add it, the big deal, give him all the food. The thin tall man gritted his teeth and said, big deal, hungry for a day. You can always find something to eat tomorrow. You can't add weight casually, people are greedy, the more you give, the more he will only ask. The girl held on to the glasses and said to the man in front, this player named Yejun chose the death mode. Moreover, he chose to light the fire at the beginning. It should be in a cold area to warm the fire. It can be called the death mode. Yes, it is estimated that either the South Pole or the North Pole, whether it is the North or South Pole, lacks fuel. For people in the death mode, food should not be the first place now. We can start bargaining from this one, and more importantly, it is not the first kill. The reward is too small, and you have to show that we have suffered a loss in your reply. Okay. Orange, it's up to you. Soon, Yejun received the message again. After seeing the information, Yejun frowned. It's impossible that the other party guessed the difficulties he is encountering now. No, the other party meant that they felt that they were at a disadvantage and I took advantage? Hee. Play this hand with me? Yejun smiled faintly and replied, I don't like to take advantage of others. Since you feel that you are at a disadvantage, then don't trade. I will find someone else. By the way, what you said is a bit good. The fewer rewards, but again, the higher the ranking, the more rewards. The same sentence, one meaning, but there are two ways of saying it. You don't think it's the first kill, and the reward is too small. So when you succeed in drilling wood and making fire, it's hard to say whether you can get rewards. Yejun's simple and decisive reply made Yang Tianxing's team silent. Yang Chengcheng lowered his head and said, Brother, I miscalculated. Don't blame you, you still consider the problem according to the normal society and the mentality of interest. But you ignore that the current environment and lighters are only available to the other party. There is only one in the world. Anyway, you must get it. Brother, just say, if he needs it, we can help him search for supplies. Including firewood, materials that can build shelters, etc. Long-term cooperation. Yang Chengcheng made the final remedy, we have enough food. You read www.yuyuganshu.com so we can spend time to help him search for materials, this is our advantage. Yejun looked at the other party's reply and frowned. To tell the truth, he least likes people who circumvent when talking about business, is that okay? However, there really is no better condition right now. Yejun said, 15 bread, 15 days of water, 10 caddies of nuts, some wood, vines, and flat stones. Yet, it worked. Sure enough, Ms. Orange is still amazing. She has an insight into the hearts of the people and guessed the needs of the other party in one fell swoop. The thin and tall man slapped his flattery. I almost messed up the transaction by being clever. Yang Chengcheng shook his head, this is a very determined person, even a bit extreme, otherwise he would not choose the death mode. If you want to trade with him in the future, it is best not to choose calculations. Just go ahead. Wang Yunzi, stop talking nonsense, hurry up and search for supplies, otherwise, it will be dark. The other man seemed to be a little dissatisfied with Xing Gao's intention to please Yang Chengcheng. Yang Tianxing gave a light cough and said, Orange, you and the swallow are going to pick up rocks on the beach. Wang Yunzi and Lu Yiming and I are going to find firewood. An hour later, the sky was already dark, the north wind blew, and several people shuddered involuntarily. In front of the 5 people, a pile of stones and firewood were piled up. There are many dead branches and dead trees on the desert island, so you can easily collect a lot of them. Okay, let's start trading. Yang Tianxing first loaded the materials into his game backpack, and then asked to open the transaction. Soon, the supplies in his backpack disappeared. There is an extra lighter. I got it. Yang Tianxing was holding a lighter, and all of them were so excited that their eyes glowed. The flame ignited, driving away the chill. Several people did not relax, but stared at Yang Tianxing with scorching eyes. Yang Tianxing knew what they were thinking, and opened his property panel, which wrote, Player, Yang Tianxing. Ignite the flames and become the 10th player who succeeds in making fire, and obtain the title, Primary Flame Master, Level 0 Energy Affinity +2. Why is it so? Yang Tianxing frowned, a little disappointed. It should be too late. Didn't you find out? The game did not announce the news that we succeeded in making fire. Before that, it seems that a dozen people have succeeded in making fire. I noticed that only Yejun has directly increased by 1 level, and received a fireball bonus. Second, the third only increased 5 points of flame affinity and 10 points of strength. Others did not receive additional rewards. This should be the same as the game, the first kill will get the most rewards. Yang Chengcheng analyzed. Isn't that too bad, we spent so many things, we lit a fire. Yang Yiming complained. It's not a loss. We need to make fire to keep warm. Moreover, with fire energy affinity, we can absorb fire energy to practice, and it only takes 10 days to cultivate to level 1 fire energy, and we can cast fireballs. I have become a magician, so I won't lose money. Yang Chengcheng smiled slyly. What's more, we can also use this lighter to trade supplies. Let's light a fire for everyone first, and turn on fire affinity. Orange first. Yang Chengcheng is also welcome. After lighting the fire, he opened himself immediately. Several people lit several fires that had been prepared. My fire energy intimacy only increased by 1. Mine too. The others looked at each other, and the result was the same. Only Yang Chengcheng said with some surprise, my fire energy affinity has increased by 1, but I awakened the fire energy body. The ability to absorb fire energy is twice that of ordinary players, and it seems to have growth attributes. This wave is not a loss, let's hang up the lighter for trading, and come back with some food. Yejun didn't know this. Even if I knew it, I wouldn't care. Level 1 fire energy, only 10 fire energy is required, and players with flame affinity 1 only need 10 days. However, level 2 fire energy requires 100 ignition energy. Even a person with a flame affinity of 10 takes 10 days, while ordinary people need 100 days to reach level 2. In the same way, it is estimated that 1000 ignition energy is needed to upgrade to level 3. Waiting for them to discover that after they have been struggling to upgrade, they can only light a fireball the size of a lighter flame. I don't know if they will be so excited. At this time, the ice sheet close to the Arctic Circle was approaching dark, but the ocean where Yejun was still was sunny. He floated on the sea for several hours and was about to become dehydrated. If Yang Tianxing is late, Yejun is going to exchange it with others. Yejun first took a bottle of water and a piece of bread from the game backpack, and started eating and drinking. Cool. After eating and drinking, Yejun began to take out the wood and vines that had just been traded from his backpack. He wants to strengthen his raft. Now, this small raft is only 10 square meters, as if it will be washed away by the waves at any time. Yejun selected the thick wood, fixed it around the raft with vines, and reinforced it with some thinner wood to fill the gaps. The area of the raft suddenly more than doubled. Although it is still small in the ocean of light, I don't worry about falling into the ocean when I roll over when I sleep. Soon Yejun took out the stone. These stones, selected according to Yejun's request, are all flat stones. Yejun wants to build a place to make a fire. You can't directly light the fire on the raft, otherwise the raft will be burned. Yejun plans to use these stones to build a small stove. After laying a layer of stones on the bottom, separated the rafts, and then set up a small stove 1 foot square. In this way, there is no need to worry about the raft being burned. Yejun lit the stove with dead branches and rotten leaves, although the top of his head was scorching in the sun, but he didn't feel hot. A burst of flame energy was sucked into his body. Yejun lay leisurely on the raft, watching the sunset, the stars shifting, and gradually falling asleep. But compared to Yejun's leisurely night, this night is a great test for countless players. For many players, cold is fatal. Especially Icefield players, if there is no fire, they can't get through the night at all. Even players in the desert island mode and the wilderness mode do not need to worry about the cold for the time being, but the inner loneliness, fear, and worries about food, the future confusion is also a great torment. Some people are crying secretly, and some are yelling at God for injustice. Everything in the past vanished. Some people are counting their supplies and figuring out how to survive tomorrow. This game, whether it is a rich man, a businessman, an employee, a farmer, or anything else, everyone starts from scratch. For people living in modern society, this kind of survival environment is unprecedented torture. Moreover, this is not just a game, it can be deadly. The panic about death caused some people to start to collapse. Early the next morning, Yejun woke up in the humid sea breeze. Open the attribute panel, and as expected, the fire level has changed. Player Yejun has been awarded the title, Junior Flame Master. Fire Energy Level, 1 Fire Energy Affinity, 10 Skill, Fireball Endurance, 70, Speed, 80, Strength 130. The fire energy has increased by 10 points, and in 9 days, he can reach level 2 fire energy. However, Yejun didn't report much hope for the so-called fire energy control. A flame as big as a lighter, even if it doubles, how big can it be? Besides, this is the sea, what is the use of fire magicians? The sign-in system is the basis for Yejun's survival and strength. The system has been refreshed. Do you want to start sign-in? Sign in. Congratulations to the host, get a magical fishing rod. Item, irregular fishing rod. Yejun looked at the fishing rod with the reel in his hand. He always felt that it looked a bit like the Liu rod he had played before. The fishing rod that cost him more than 3,000 yuan, every time he throws it out is not lost, shorts, slippers, dead branches, rotten plastic, except for not catching fish, I have caught everything. Yejun skillfully flicked his pole, and the Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com fish hook flew out 20 to 30 meters. After almost sinking several tens of meters, Yejun began to take up the line. Sudden. The fishing line in his hand is tight, has it caught? Yejun was overjoyed, and quickly closed the line. But when I saw what was being pulled out of the water, I was shocked and speechless. Who the used dolls littered? A vivid doll, still made of solid silicone. This kind of thing can be caught in this sea. Never mind. It's useless to keep it, hang up the transaction to see if anyone has this demand. Yejun hung up the doll for trading and sent a message, a simulation doll, made of high-grade silicone, just fished from the sea, absolutely never used, buy it quickly. Since Yejun became the first Flame Master, many game players have followed him. Seeing Yejun's transaction information, many people suddenly couldn't help laughing wildly. Brother, is the place you stay in death mode really? How can it be compared with the last player in death mode? It feels a bit not serious. There is a doll in death mode. This is obviously after the game found out that he had food, and sent a doll to ask him to. Brother, have you really never used it? I don't believe it. Would you like to change a piece of bread? I don't think I will live for a few days. I want to be refreshed before I die. Yang Tianxing and his group on the desert island on the edge of the polar region saw Yejun hanging up the deal, and thought there was something good. After seeing the traded item, they were speechless for a while. I said before, this guy is definitely not a serious person. Who would choose death mode for normal people? Yejun looked at the ridicule of these players and was speechless for a while. If I was not serious, I would keep it for myself. He threw the hook into the sea again. After a while, his hand sank slightly, and he caught a broken iron bucket. However, this iron bucket is not leaking, and it is not useless. You can use it to boil water and cook food. Of course, the premise is that he catches the fish first, otherwise the bread and nuts do not need to be cooked. Yejun fished again. A minute later, he caught a rotten slippers. 5 minutes later, I caught a bicycle wheel. 10 minutes later, I caught a broken fishing net. After half an hour, I caught a dead basketball. An hour later, I caught an axe. The handle of the axe was decayed and the axe was rusted, but it banged. Yejun is already a little numb. This fishing rod is really good for catching anything except fish. Why is there no fish bite? Yejun gritted his teeth, broke a piece of bread and hung it on. With the bait, it is finally a serious fishing rod. Yejun threw the fishing rod, controlled the fishing line, and sank 7 or 8 meters. He didn't dare to sink too much. Most deep-water fishes are carnivorous fish, and they don't necessarily eat bread. After 10 minutes, his wrist suddenly sank slightly. There is it. As expected, a lively sea bream was thrown up, to say nothing of 3 or 4 catties. It's easy to handle with experience. The fish all come in groups. After a while, there were more than 20 sea breams in front of Yejun. The largest was 5 or 6 catties, and the smallest was 2 catties. Great harvest! Yejun picked up the axe and knocked the biggest sea bream to death with one axe. Ding! Kill the snapper, get the title of Junior Hunter, experience +1, copper +6. Yejun's heart moved, and he called up the attribute panel. As expected, the above data has changed again. Player Yejun has been awarded the title, Primary Flame Master. Fire Energy Level, 1 Junior Hunter. Hunter Level 0 Flame Affinity, 10 Skill, Fireball Endurance, 70, Speed, 70, Strength 80. It seems that animals are wild monsters. Killing wild monsters can gain experience and upgrade. Yejun felt a little excited, and immediately knocked all the remaining sea bream to death. Kill Snapper, reward experience value +1, copper coin +2. Kill Snapper, reward experience value +1, copper coin +5. Kill Snapper, reward experience value +1, copper coin +3. Hunter level increased, level +1, speed +10, endurance +10, and strength increased by 50. When killing all the snappers, Yejun's attributes are Hunter level 1, speed 80, endurance 80, and strength 130. It seems that the Hunter level is increased, mainly in terms of physical fitness, strength, endurance, and speed. The level of the flame controller is mainly increased by flame affinity, which can accelerate the speed of absorbing fire energy. In popular terms, am I considered a dual cultivation of magic and martial arts? In addition, there are more than 70 copper coins. But now it's not a human society. Why do you want money for it? Yejun looked at it, and there is a game mall in the game, but it hasn't opened yet. I don't know what's in it, so keep these copper coins. Yejun snapped his fingers, lit the stove, and immediately used a few branches to pierce the sea bream all through. The scent of floats on the sea, making people gurgle. Unfortunately, there is no seasoning, the taste is not very good. Yejun secretly planned that he should have some salt in the sun. Whether it is the taste of the food or for his own consideration, salt is indispensable. After drying the salt, I exchanged it for other things. Yejun ate a piece of grilled fish of 3 or 4 catties, and kept 2 of them, and all the rest were linked to the trading channel. 16 grilled fish, the largest is 6 catties, and the smallest is 2 catties. You can exchange them for food, fresh water, and wood. After the news was sent, it immediately attracted the attention of countless people. After seeing the price set by Yejun, many people were daunted. 1 catty of fish for 2 catties of nuts, food such as wild vegetables, or 10 days of fresh water, or 1 cubic meter of wood. It's too dark. Dead player brother, you are really too dark, darker than impermanence. If I have 2 catties of nuts, wouldn't it be good to keep them for myself? Does cactus count as wild vegetables? It's too unpalatable. I still have a mouthful. I want to eat grilled fish. I have a lot of trees here. How many fish can 1 tree change? I will cut down the tree. Although many people scold Yejun's heart as black, there are too many people who lack food. Did he? There was too much information, and Yejun couldn't come over at all, so he directly set up automatic trading. After a while, the 16 grilled fish were swept away. It's just that, most of these transactions are actually traded in fresh water. This is not surprising, for current players, obtaining food is the most difficult. But fresh water is different. As long as the source of water is found, there will be a steady stream of fresh water. Just unexpectedly, Yang Tianxing sent another message. Brother Yet, do you still have grilled fish? The grilled fish is gone. If you need it, I can fish now. After all, he made a fortune before, and Yejun is still very polite to the rich man. Brother Ye has a fish hook. Yang Tianxing was shocked. What is this method? This was the second day of the game. Many people didn't even set up the shelter, so Yejun started fishing, and he also fished so much. Yejun smiled, don't talk about fishing rods, I have fishing nets. I fished them from the sea. Although a few holes are broken, they can still be repaired. Yang Tianxing suddenly said with excitement, Brother Yet, can you exchange fishing nets for me? They are now in desert island mode and have found water and nuts. However, eating nuts is not enough. If there are fishing nets to fish, they can greatly improve the hope of survival. Yes, I want 20 cubic meters of wood. Yejun now, there is no shortage of food and water, and the only worry is the small raft. Must speed up, expand the small raft. 20 cubic meters of wood is too much. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com, even if the 5 of us go to find it every day, it is difficult to get it, mainly because we don't have tools. I have tools, do you want an axe? The axe is also useless to Yejun. It happened to be given to the other party to chop the tree. Anyway, if the tree is chopped, it is also sold to himself. What price is not his own decision. Lend tools to the other party, let the other party work for themselves, sit back and reap the rewards, isn't it a pleasure? Yang Tianxing's entire team was completely shocked. Before Yejun got a lighter, now he not only got a fishing net but also an axe. Is the opponent really in death mode? Brother Yet, do you have anything else we can use? Yang Tianxing was shaking when he spoke. Yes, silicone dolls, do you want? A cube of wood will do. This. I'm in team mode, so many people are staring at me and chatting next to me. Is too embarrassing. Yang Tianxing gave a light cough, righteously said, even if I give a cubic wood to Brother Yet, you should keep the doll for your own use. Really not? Pure silicone, at least one that is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't you try. Yang Tianxing saw the other 4 people, especially the 2 women staring at him, his foreheads were sweating, and he tremblingly typed out a few words, it's useless. It's over, it's a wrong number, what I want to type is not useful. As expected, several other people looked at him strangely. Brother Yang, if you really want it, we don't mind cutting down more trees. Brother Yang, they are all men, we understand you. Gao Gao said. Nima. What are you doing here? Hurry up and cut down the trees. I will go fishing. Yang Tianxing felt that he was about to split. Yejun started fishing again. Now, for all human beings, food is the most scarce. Although Yejun is not short of food for the time being, it is very necessary to collect more food, which can also be used to trade with others. More importantly, killing fish can also gain experience points. For Yejun, this is the only way to upgrade quickly. He still doesn't know how long he will be drifting at sea, there is always nothing wrong with improving his strength. This time, the bait Yejun used was not bread, but the fish innards from the previous killing of the sea bream. Mr. Ye hung a few fish intestines on the hook and threw it away. Let the fishing reel rotate, the fishing line sinks continuously and drifts with the waves. Yejun opened the channel interface at the same time and began to browse the information. On World Chat channel, most of the information is still water group, my bread has been eaten, only 3 pieces of bread, not enough for a day. My bread was eaten yesterday. If I don't eat enough, I don't have the strength to go hungry. I'm so hungry, whoever has food, give me some. I have a lot of wild fruits and mushrooms here, who can teach me how to distinguish. I can give you some mushrooms. There is a message that caused a lot of discussion. In the picture, there is a forest with colorful mushrooms everywhere. Below, there are many big bosses in the plant world who give advice. Look at this mushroom, he is big and round. Pick a mushroom, do you think it looks good? It tastes good if it looks good. Eat it once at most. Yejun left a message below. Mushrooms, fungus can be exchanged with me, 1 caddy of grilled fish can be exchanged for 2 caddies of mushrooms. It's Yejun in death mode, but the boss still has fish? Did your family open a fish pond? The night is long, the wilderness is lonely, is the big guy online dating, my lowly? The man who pulls his feet gets thick. Can you give me 2 grilled fish? I can send you a fruit photo. Yejun is on the World Channel. Now he is a celebrity. As the first person to light a flame and become a fire magician, he is as well known as Dayet and Bayet. Even, because of the background of his death mode, others pay more attention to him. Yejun ignored this group of water friends, and every day he didn't go looking for food. He knew that the water group Crooked Tower, and he deserved to starve you to death. Yejun went to the trading channel and wrote a message, barbecued fish trade, freshly baked and sold, support reservation. You can exchange food and other living materials and useful materials. After thinking about it, Yejun added another one at the end, buy a lot of game materials and game equipment, you can chat privately. Since the copper coins were exploded by killing the sea bream, Yejun has completely integrated into the game. Although I don't know the use of copper coins for the time being, collect more coins and they will definitely be used in the future. In addition to Yejun, on the trading channel, many players have successively posted trading information. This world has a large population, so naturally there is no shortage of survival gods like Bayet and Dayet. There were some who were lucky enough to find abundant food and fresh water, and they also made a deal. Yejun searches for the supplies he can use on the trading channel. Suddenly, Yejun saw a familiar ID. Ed, buy materials for making bows and arrows. Yejun was a little bit disbelieved at the beginning of the period. For a survival boss like Dayet, still need to ask for shopping expenses? However, I have seen Master Da's wilderness survival, and we all know that there is an old saying, follow Master Da, be hungry for 9 meals in 3 days. How else would someone call starving virtue? Compared with Bayet, Dayi's hunting methods are indeed a lot worse. Requires the help of hunting tools. But now, Master Da has a hammer in his hand, and he is also hunting for a hammer. If it's just a survival show, it's okay to be hungry for a few days. But, this is obviously a reality game. Whether you can hunt or kill animals is related to whether you can upgrade. Master Da is a wise man, knowing that in this environment, upgrading and improving his strength is the safest way to survive. But, it's only the second day of the game, who can collect the materials for bows and arrows. Even if a certain player is lucky and makes a bow and arrow, I am afraid he is not willing to exchange a hammer with Lord Da. But Yejun glanced at the mountain of piled up on the raft, and immediately sent a message to Dayet, I have the raw materials to make bows and arrows. In a wilderness tens of thousands of kilometers away, a white man dressed in a grass skirt gritted his teeth as he watched the trap he had worked so hard to set up and was destructive by the porcupine. The key is that the porcupines did not escape after breaking the trap, and they even ate the bait. They walked not far away swaggeringly, which made the man angry. At this moment, the prompt of a message attracted the attention of the man. The player Yejun requests a deal with you. Yejun is a name that can be described as thunderous in today's World Channel. Although Lord Da had always started with a mosaic before, he still admired the player who dared to choose the death mode in this kind of life and death game with logistical support at that time. Oh, dear Yet, do you have bows and arrows? What do you want to exchange? I have bread and water. Dai opened the video channel and enthusiastically took out the bread and pure water that he was reluctant to eat and drink. Yejun looked at the untouched bread, and said to his heart, Master Da will not be hungry for these 2 days. This is not impossible. When it comes to starving, Lord De is absolutely invincible. After all, he is a person who can be hungry for 9 meals in 3 days. This is less than 2 days. But, I don't lack food, I want a hammer. That's right. What Yejun wants is the construction hammer in the hands of Master De. At the moment, the only bronze equipment. Pei's bronze armor is of no use to Yejun right now. After all, Yejun doesn't need to go out hunting. But the construction hammer is not the same. Yejun's raft is too fragile. If you use the construction hammer, you can increase the stability by 10%, greatly improving the ability to drift on the sea. Master De was a little embarrassed immediately. Is the first piece of equipment obtained after all, and it is very commemorative. However, in comparison, hunting is more attractive. If the hunting is successful, maybe he can explode the equipment again like Bei. The construction of the hammer, for the current German lord, except for the commemorative significance, it does not have much practical effect. I need to see your bow and arrow. Yejun pointed the camera at the mountain of debris and on the raft, took a picture and sent it over. Oh, dog seller, are you sure you are in death mode? Why can you collect so many supplies? That's right, the in Yejun's eyes is a precious material in Dai's eyes. These are the marine garbage I collected. Yejun took another photo, surrounded by the endless sea, but Yejun didn't take the raft under his feet into it. Keeping the mystery is the basic element of survival. Master De was completely shocked and exclaimed, "You have fishing nets, fishing rods, and leaning on the sea. This is simply a leisure vacation. Can I quit the game and choose the death mode again?" Yejun smiled and said, "According to the previous game experience, after the player dies, you can delete the account and repractice. You can try." Master De is decisively persuaded. Finally, after some bargaining, Yejun sold half a bicycle wheel to De Ye, as well as a rotten umbrella and a few fishing lines. That's right, it's half a wheel. These materials are enough for De Ye to make a bow and arrow. For the remaining half, Yejun plans to get another bow and arrow to exchange some supplies. Use everything. Spiritual seed? Yejun looked at the thing in his hand curiously. This is a mini octopus, only the size of a fingernail, with 12 tentacles, and a dark green body, beating in Yejun's palm like a living thing. Spirit seed, a product developed by the multi-brain clan of Begamerer planet for the treatment of schizophrenia. How to use: put the mental seed on other objects, and you can experience the stimulation brought by different bodies. This thing is a bit like the clone in Xiaoxian novels. Yejun picked up the little octopus and swept his eyes around on the raft. Is a hammer besides grilled fish, parasitic on grilled fish? It won't swim if it's all cooked. Parasite on the hammer? That's a hammer. Yejun's eyes finally fell on the slender body at the bow of the ship. This stuff looks like a person. Should move like a real person. What else is more suitable as a clone than this thing? It's just that this thing looks like a girl. Yejun subconsciously glanced around. Anyway, it was at sea and there was no one else. Immediately, he flicked his finger, and the dark green little octopus turned into an arc and landed on the silicone doll. The little octopus instantly turned into a green light and merged into the doll's body. In the next second, Yejun's head dizzy slightly, and he saw that he was sitting opposite, staring blankly at this side. That's right. His body is right in front, facing himself. And now he has become a silicone doll. Yejun shook his head, recovered and returned to his body again. I can see myself, this feeling is really weird. Yejun's heart moved and he controlled the doll to stand up. This doll looks a bit like a certain female star, and she stands up alive, stretching her body on the bow of the ship. Following the changes in Yejun's mind, 3 circles on the left and 3 circles on the right. This thing is worthy of being a high-end item, with a human appearance, and with Yejun's control, if it is put on clothes, it is almost like a real person. If high imitation robots can do this, hundreds of millions of otaku will have to buy one if they are bankrupt. Is really? It's too showy. Ahem. Want to be crooked? Yejun controlled the baby with a plop and jumped into the sea. Like a dolphin, swimming in the sea. This doll has no life, it seems like how to swim in the water without restriction and pressure. Yejun controlled the doll to sink continuously and dived into the deep water. He wants to see how deep it is. For humans, the ocean represents vastness, magnificence, and is synonymous with mystery. Even though Blue Star's technology has developed to the point where it can explore space, it is still blind to the ocean. The sea is endless, and the deep sea is terrifying. Yejun controlled the doll to dive, as if he was constantly diving, even though he didn't need to breathe, but as the surrounding sea water squeezed, the light continued to dim, still giving him a heavy pressure that was hard to breathe. When it reaches a depth of tens of meters, the underwater is almost completely dark. Yejun dived hundreds of meters in one breath and finally touched the land. Fortunately, the doll is solid. If it were inflated, it would have been crushed. The huge pressure of the sea has made the color of the sea deep, and the light cannot reach here, and the surrounding area is pitch black. Mr. Ye fumbled on the ground for a while, touched a few shells, and bumped into a few fish, but he couldn't see what was in the surroundings. It seems, looking back for something that can shine before coming down. Yejun was about to float up, suddenly, a silver light illuminates the world under the sea. The surrounding environment came to mind. The rugged seabed is covered with dark green moss-like algae. There are also some weird-looking bush-like plants. From time to time, colorful, weird-shaped fishes shuttle among the bushes. This is the world under the sea. Whether it is a plant or an animal, it looks strange and looks strange. And Yejun also saw clearly where the light source was. Suddenly, I was stunned. More than 10 meters in front, there is a giant electric ray. An ordinary electric ray is 1 or 2 meters tall, but this electric ray is at least 2 feet long. There is an arc-shaped current beating on the back of the electric ray, and the silver light is shining, illuminating the underwater world. At this time, this giant electric ray was also looking at Yejun with stunned eyes. Seems to be wondering why Yejun was not knocked down by its current. You know, even if a shark encounters it, it will twitch. Obviously, with its IQ, it is impossible to understand the scientific truth that silica gel is an insulator. Electric ray felt threatened and rushed over again. Tsitsizi. All the fish within 20 meters of the surrounding area flipped over and sank to the bottom of the sea. Yejun also felt a pang in his heart. Although silica gel is said to be an insulator, and it is not his body, but seeing the bright and beating arc, it is absolutely fake to say not to be afraid. Yejun Qiang suppressed the fear in his heart, grabbed with both hands, and hugged the tail of the electric rays fiercely. Tsitsizi. The electric rays were frightened and twisted frantically, trying to throw away the enemies on his body. The electric lights flickered, and they made a crackling sound. Mr. Ye hugged the electric rays tightly. A wild monster of this size must not be let go. On the contrary, this is just a clone, not to mention, it's insulated. Electric rays obviously did not expect that there are enemies in this world who are not afraid of electricity. You know, before, even great white sharks would hide far away when they saw it. The electric rays are stimulated and discharge wildly. The powerful electric current burned several spots of carbon black on the doll's body. Fortunately, this is in the water, otherwise this clone might actually be burned. I don't know how long it took, the electric eel stopped moving. After the bioelectricity in ran out, it also took away all the energy of the electric eel, lying on the bottom of the sea, motionless. Yejun estimated that charging this thing for 2 hours can be used for 5 minutes at most. If there is no electricity, it is just a waste. Yejun was full of joy, pulling the tail of the electric eel with one hand, and controlling it to float up. Halfway through, I knocked a few times. After I was sure that the thing was really out of power, I dragged it on the raft with confidence. Soon, it ended his life with a few hammers. Kill the sea monster electric rays boss, become the first player to kill the monster boss, reward lightning affinity plus 10. Level plus 1, strength plus 50, speed plus 10, endurance plus 10. Is it an announcement? Announcement. An announcement floated on the World Channel. Player Yejun successfully killed the sea monster electric ray boss, becoming the first player to kill the monster boss, rewarding lightning affinity plus 10. Level plus 1, strength plus 50, speed plus 10, endurance plus 10. In an instant, the whole world was a sensation. Am I still hungry? You have already started killing the boss? Are we still playing the same game? P.S. I have signed a contract, and I am preparing the contract. After reading it, remember to collect it. You can also invest if you cast a recommendation vote or something. Junya touched under the body of the electric rays, and several things appeared in his hands. Silver coin plus 5. Thunder and lightning gloves, silver level, has been awarded the title, Primary Flame Master. Fire energy level, 1 flame affinity, 10 junior hunter. Hunter level 2 primary thunder and lightning master. Lightning level 0 thunder and lightning affinity, 10. Skill, fireball skill, palm thunder endurance, 90, speed, 90, strength 180. The flame controller is the fire magician, and the lightning master should be the lightning wizard. But how to absorb the energy of thunder and lightning? Do you want to learn Franklin to be a kite to attract thunder and lightning? Forget it. If you really get to, when there is lightning and thunder, the first thing you have to worry about is that this little raft should not be overturned. Yejun temporarily left these behind and began to dismember this electric ray. This electric ray is more than 6 meters long, and its tail alone is 3 meters long. Yejun cut off the tail of the electric ray with an axe and threw it on the grill. Immediately opened the electric ray, and the fish's internal organs were all buried under the strange fruit tree. This is a fruit tree with growth attributes, and Yejun has high expectations for this tree. Then, Yejun cut off a piece of 2 or 3 kilograms of fish meat and threw it into the iron bucket to stew the soup, and all the others were cooked. I have to say, this boss-level monster tastes really good. Yejun ate 2 caddies of fish in one breath, and still had some feelings, and drank all the soup. With the increase in strength, Yejun's appetite now has also increased a lot. Moreover, Yejun seems to feel that after eating fish, his body heats up and his strength is also increased. He glanced at the attributes, and the power became 180.5. Actually grew. Although it is only 0.5. But this is enough to show that the meat of high-level wild monsters can enhance their strength. This is only a level 5 electric rays. If it is a level 10, level 20th or even higher level monster, the effect will definitely be stronger. Yejun roasted all the remaining fish, and after leaving a portion for himself, they all hung up on the trading channel. This electric ray is several hundred caddies, and it is impossible for Yejun to finish it by himself. In this kind of weather, it will spoil after being kept for a long time, so it is better to use it for trading. Level 5 Boss Electric Rays, eating can increase strength, exchange game materials, equipment, copper coins, and all rare and exotic items. Yejun's news has been sent out, and it immediately caused a sensation. Now, he is a celebrity in the world. I don't know how many people are staring at him all the time. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. After seeing the transaction information posted by Yejun, many people were a little unbelievable. Eating wild monster meat can increase energy? After countless people experienced the initial surprise, they were suddenly excited. With greater strength, you can have more hope of survival in this survival game. The whole world channel is boiling. Eating meat can make you stronger. I think this game is just tailored for me. Stop talking, I'm going to start eating. How can I become stronger without eating? Don't be silly upstairs. If you want to eat it, you have to hit the prey first. The meat of the low-level prey has no effect. If you want to hunt the 5th level prey, you still have to think about whether you can beat a tiger. Erlatun Wusong, request to play. Hunting is impossible in this life, but I can let the boss work for me. Master Yejun, I dug a colorful mushroom yesterday, can't you accept it? Don't say it, hunting is not good, I can still collect wild products. I am here in Chenbai Mountain, I will find a few ginseng. Yejun, remember to leave me some fish. I have 6 copper coins, how many caddies of fish can I exchange for? I also have a few copper coins, it's useless to keep them anyway, it's better to. Many people began to send messages to Yejun, requesting a trade in electric rays. At the same time, on a desert island tens of thousands of miles away, Lord Deok shot 2 porcupines with a bow and arrow. He couldn't help making a quack, but when he opened the channel and saw countless popular news, suddenly felt that the prey in his hand was boring, and his eyes couldn't help but looked into the distance, and the eyes of the group of mountain lions sparked lightning.